What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we'll be going over the finale to this series. This series turned out to be one of my longest running on the channel, and at the time of recording this, I think it actually is the longest on my channel. Not only in terms of parts, but also raw length and how long it goes in the timeline. So the stakes are pretty high here. Of course, if you've seen the last part, you would know that. The final villain is someone truly fearsome. Someone who's never actually been in one of my scenarios before. It's Janemba. How will the group be able to defeat him? And what else will happen along the way in the series finale? As with every video, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes. If there's enough interest and we hit that like goal, I might actually do an epilogue for the series and continue onwards. But otherwise, this is going to be the finale. So with all that out of the way, let's conclude this series. The awakening of Janemba completely shocks everyone. Everyone in Hell feels it. The Galactic Patrol Saiyans feel it as well. They're just about to get to the area and they feel this ominous presence. But more importantly, even out in space it's felt in the living world. Across the universe, this presence is felt. Roshi, Krillin, and Shinhan note this presence, as well as the other humans around them. This power, it's unlike anything they've ever sensed before, and they can't necessarily tell where it's coming from. Tarble, at another end of space, even he feels it with his limited sense of ki. Mayris feels it, and currently he's with Whis and Beerus. Mayris does feel a little bit concerned, but Beerus says it should be okay. He trusts that those Saiyans will handle this. They've found a way out of everything else so far, and they should be able to find a way out of this. Whis concurs with this. It'll be interesting to see how they manage in this situation. Immediately, the Saiyan army only has one option. They go and attack Janemba. With King Vegeta commanding them, they all head forward. Janemba doesn't even try to attack them. He just effortlessly dodges all of their attacks. And simply him just powering up is enough to knock all of them back. The Saiyans are so weak compared to him. Although, if he does harness their souls and their power, he could grow a lot stronger too. He lifts a single finger up, and all the Saiyans brace themselves. They know this is a losing battle. Janemba charges an attack, and right as he's about to launch it, it's suddenly blocked. Some extra Saiyans appear, jumping in front of the army. King Vegeta's confused. What is he looking at? They're Saiyans with golden hair. Are these the fabled Super Saiyans? And more importantly, he recognized one of their hairstyles. It's Vegeta. With a combined attack, all the Saiyans knock Janemba far away. Babidi's quick enough to put up a shield, but he's also knocked back by this blast too. The Galactic Patrolmen turn around, equally shocked to see an army of Saiyans. Then Bardock sees too. Kakarot? Raditz? Vegeta, Kakarot, and Raditz look on completely confused. They should have expected this. But it's still surprising to see all the Saiyans here. And even though Kakarot only has vague memories of Bardock, he can of course tell who he is. I mean, the hairstyle's a dead giveaway. But the fight continues before any reunion can commence. Super Saiyan definitely isn't going to be enough. They tell all the Saiyans to stand back. Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, and Kakarot all power up into Super Saiyan Blue, with Broly going into his full power form. They continue their assault, but none of their attacks seem to do anything against Janemba. He's able to dodge them effortlessly, and at one point, they all hit him with a full power attack. And at first, they're glad to see that it does deal some damage, until Janemba effortlessly regenerates it. Babidi laughs with delight. This is just what he wanted. But he tells Janemba to not let this battle go on too long. They need to go on to the actual universe itself. As everyone continues launching attacks at Janemba, he creates a portal to catch all of them. Portals open behind the Saiyans, and they're hit by their own attacks. And once again, Janemba lifts up a finger. He creates a massive wave of energy, launching shards at them, finishing it off with a large burst of ki. A massive explosion occurs, and Babidi uses this as an opportunity to escape. He and Janemba head through the rift and go into the living world. The Saiyans are bloodied and beaten, but thankfully it seems that the Saiyan army behind them is protected. They definitely couldn't have survived that attack. They get up looking around for Janemba, but they don't see him or Babidi anywhere. The Saiyans run up to them, confused, but Bardock and King Vegeta step up. Obviously all the Saiyans know the prince. The resemblance is pretty clear, and as for Bardock, he's equally surprised to see his two sons here, especially Raditz. Did he die again? No, he's not actually dead this time. The Galactic Patrolmen discuss what's been going on. Thankfully in the living world, Frieza and Cooler were killed by them. Again. Of course, the Saiyans are elated to hear this. Frieza and Cooler are dead. These Saiyans killed them twice, which means they not only avenged their race, but those two are never going to come back again. Some of the patrolmen explain more of the situation to the Saiyans, but Bardock pulls Kakarot and Raditz aside. This is obviously awkward for both of them. Bardock says he's aware of what happened to Kakarot. As a kid, he was kidnapped by Frieza and raised by him. But it seems Kakarot turned out pretty alright. He ended up being with the Saiyans anyways, and he even killed Frieza twice. Kakarot doesn't even really know what to say. Besides the awkwardness, it's just the whole situation with him and Frieza. This is his true father right here. Bardock says he wished he could have lived to help raise him. Anything would have been preferable to Frieza. But Frieza clearly did a pretty crappy job. Well, not in terms of Kakarot's power. He's definitely strong, but his own adoptive son rebelled against him. He acknowledges that this isn't Kakarot's fault, and he's proud of his two kids. He's mainly just glad that he got to see Kakarot again, even if it's under these circumstances. At least the two of them aren't dead. He already had his reunion with Raditz though. But the two of them still have work to do. Whatever that thing was that was just created, they can stop that. Kakarot says he's not so sure. Even with all their combined power, it still wasn't enough. They're gonna need some special trump card. But he has no idea of what to do. He's faced tough battles before. He even tells Bardock about the Tuffles and how they created Baby. There's so many familiar faces in Hell. Bojack and his crew, Baby. The group sees so many of their past enemies. And also that guy over there, Broly, he was a pretty big deal. Even Lord Beerus. Tuffles? Beerus? And even though Bardock isn't familiar with Broly, King Vegeta definitely is. And he makes it a note to avoid Broly during this whole thing. But Bardock's surprised to hear all this. These Saiyans even train with Beerus. They have godly powers now, and they're part of the Galactic Patrol. He tells them they just gotta do what they do best. If they've made it through all that crazy stuff before, they can make it through this, no matter how powerful Janemba is. And remember the stakes here. Not only is the living world at risk, but everything else. There won't be an afterlife. Even if they die, there's not gonna be anything afterwards. Janemba and Babidi will destroy it all. Who knows what they're gonna be up to now? But they definitely need some time to recover, and a way to formulate a strategy. There's more people in Hell as well. They see some of the Frieza force. Kakarot even sees Zarbon and Dodoria. He's surprised they weren't with Frieza when he came back. And they say Frieza pretty much abandoned everyone here. That's interesting. Why did he work with Cooler of all people? They don't know too much about it, but they explain what they do know about this whole thing. And by going around and discussing with more people in Hell, the Saiyans actually do get some valuable info, filling in any of the blanks that they had with their assumptions. Of course, the reunion with Zarbon, Dodoria, and Kakarot is weird as well. But honestly, they don't even care. They're fine down here as long as they're not gonna die from Janemba. They should have never been loyal to Frieza anyways. He just dropped everyone. Even going around killing his own men just for Janemba. It's interesting to see that Kakarot's still alive though. They wonder if he'd actually be able to manage this, defeating Janemba. But they can't waste too much more time. They got to reunite with everyone down here, and they got the info they needed. They need to head back to the living world immediately. They head through the rift and see Mayra standing there. Once again, he creates an atmosphere for them to breathe in space. And also with a tap of his staff, he heals them. He says that he shouldn't be intervening too much, but considering the stakes, it's alright if he heals them. Plus, this is also a request of Lord Beerus, and he is a guest in his universe right now. But now they actually need to figure out a way to defeat Janemba. Mayra starts to brainstorm with them. And meanwhile, in another part of the universe, Janemba and Babidi are traveling around. This is amazing. He never expected Janemba to have this much power. Even if he did revive Majin Buu, it would have been nothing like this. Janemba's gotten so powerful, and it was a perfect plan. He was even able to get the souls of Frieza and Cooler, which helped to provide a bunch of power for Janemba. Janemba grows with the more destruction he causes, as well as the more people he kills and the souls he gathers. That's how Babidi built him. Babidi will have Janemba destroy the universe, and Janemba will go stronger and stronger as he does so. The whole while, he will be under Babidi's control. He seems very simple-minded. He doesn't even speak, and he's incredibly loyal to Babidi. He hasn't even shown any signs of disloyalty. Him killing King Cold was exactly what Babidi wanted. It was pretty funny that King Cold thought he was going to stick around for this. He just can't believe his plan is working. They start going around to different planets. And Janemba decides to have some fun too. Instead of just destroying them for out in space, he's gonna go and personally slaughter everyone down there, going to different random planets around the universe. Even Babidi's a little scared of his power. Of course, Janemba is on his side and under his control, but he's quite sadistic. Back at the patrol, everyone's trying to theorize what to do. The patrolmen are filled in on the situation. Jocko's completely shocked. This sounds way out of their league. What are they supposed to do? Well, even though they can't really fight Janemba, they could probably help people evacuate, help save planets before Janemba even gets to them. From what everyone can sense, it seems Janemba's already going around destroying civilizations. But thankfully, they're nowhere near here yet. Although it won't be hard for them to get here. Janemba could travel pretty quickly. And who knows what abilities he'll pick up. Apparently he can even create portals. He could be here any minute. They have 3 different realms to worry about. Obviously Hell is at risk, and the living world, but also Otherworld too. They didn't even consider that. They wonder if it's fine so far. Mayris contacts the Kais. Thankfully, it seems Otherworld is perfectly fine right now. They check with the other Kais as well. And even though they know that there's a problem down there, they're okay right now. Of course, the living world is the main concern. But Janemba will definitely have his sights set on that. Okay, that's good at least. It seems Janemba hasn't gotten too far in his progress yet. Of course, some planets have already been eradicated. But Mayris thinks the Saiyans should be able to do something. But what are they supposed to do? Even with all of them at full power, they weren't even able to damage Janemba. They need something new. Some new power, some special technique that they can use. Anything. Especially because 5 of them could do nothing. If it was just 2 of them fighting before like it was against Baby, that would be one thing. But this is completely different. For the first time in a while, it actually seems like they're disadvantaged here. Heavily disadvantaged. They need some way to increase their combined power somehow. Combined power. Mayris is thinking, what ways could they increase that? Wait, he has the perfect idea. He tells them he knows a way to defeat Janemba. If this doesn't work, it'll be completely hopeless. But this should be okay. He tells Nappa, Raditz, and Broly that they should go head out and find Janemba right now. He wants Kakarot and Vegeta to stay back. But why them? Shouldn't they all go together? Mayris says to just trust him. The 2 of them place a hand on Mayris, and they're transported into Otherworld. This is crazy. Obviously, it's the exact opposite of Hell. But they look around and see everything is encased in these weird shells. Well, at least for the most part. Some of it seems to be okay. In front of them, they see the 4 Kais. North, South, East, and West. They've all gotten together to try and formulate a plan. And Mayris has a question for them. Are there any Metamorans nearby? Kakarot and Vegeta ask what's going on. And Maris explains, he would go to the Kais for help right now, but they're preoccupied with all this. They can't be interrupted right now and they're using their power to try and restore the rift, also trying to protect Otherworld. So for what he wants to do, he needs Vegeta and Kakarot to do it on their own. He tells them there's a way for people to fuse, combine their power together and become one person. Of course it's temporary, but the boost in power is so incredible that it might just be enough. So why the two of them? Well, they needed people that were equal in power and equal in height. Potara would have been nicer because they could have had Broly and Kakarot fuse, but this is still going to be good. And hey, it might even be better. The two might be even more compatible than what Kakarot and Broly would have been like. They could have probably gotten Nappa and Raditz to do it too, but the result would have been weaker than what they have here. Kakarot and Vegeta have trained so much, been through so much together, and they've gotten so strong. A fusion between the two of them would be incredible. And it might just be what they need to defeat Janemba. They just need a little bit of time. In the living world, Broly, Raditz, and Nappa all head out. They got a nice boost in power from being healed, and from what they've been told, they just need to stall for time right now. Even if they can't really kill Janemba, it's fine. They just need to stay alive and make sure he doesn't destroy anything else. They land on a planet just around the time that Janemba starts destroying it, but Babidi's surprised to see them back again. Although they're short two people, he wonders why. They tell Janemba this is where it ends, and Babidi laughs. They do know Janemba's gotten stronger since they last fought him a few hours ago, right? Not to mention, they have 2 less people. It doesn't matter how strong they got from whatever power increases they have. They're not going to be able to defeat Janemba. They tell Babidi to stop acting so confident. This is where everything ends. Babidi starts laughing even more. This is so funny to him, but his cockiness gets the best of him. Amidst his laughter, he's too distracted to put up a barrier when Broly launches a massive attack at him, killing Babidi instantly. Okay, now this kind of creates an issue. Janemba has no one controlling him. He's free to do exactly what he wants. But even without Babidi, he's still going to be going around destroying stuff. He lets out a nefarious laugh, creating a sword in his hands as he launches towards them and attacks. In Otherworld, Kakarot and Vegeta are practicing something. They wish they knew before about this technique, especially whatever that Potara thing was. But even though that might have been more convenient, this is still fine. Vegeta thinks the dance is incredibly goofy, as does Kakarot, but since this is for the sake of the universe and their lives, they have no other choice. It does take a few attempts, and thankfully with Maris there, he makes it so that they don't have to wait 30 minutes if they fail the fusion. He tells them he really shouldn't be involved this much in their affairs, so don't expect this kind of help in the future. This is only because of the circumstances here. And this is pretty interesting to hear from him. Why, is there someone watching over him that prevents him from doing this stuff? Yeah, there's still a lot that these two don't know. They are aware of the multiverse by now, but they've never been out of Universe 7, and they don't know about any of the other angels, gods of destruction, the Grand Priest, or Zeno. But if Janemba gets powerful enough, this could be a multiversal level threat, which is exactly why they need to stop him before it gets bad. Back in the living world, the other 3 Saiyans are pretty badly beaten, but they still don't care. They're putting up a good fight, and Janemba's not able to kill them. Janemba's also having fun too, so it's not like he's trying to make this quick either. This is exactly what they needed. They need to stall for time. And with Broly there, it's pretty helpful. He's incredibly strong compared to Raditz and Nappa. He's the main offense and defense for the group, with Nappa and Raditz providing as much support as possible. And even though it's not much, after their boost in power, they are able to damage Janemba. Of course he does regenerate from it, but this shows that they're strong now, and they just need to hit him with one big attack all at once. One that'll completely incinerate him and get rid of his body before he can regenerate. But Janemba powers up even further. He's had his fun by now, and he wants to get stronger. These 3 will be great for him. Of course he doesn't say anything, he just babbles and laughs. But they can tell that he wants their power. He finishes powering up and puts his sword out in front of him. He lunges towards the group, surrounded by a bunch of shards of energy. The 3 of them power up, launching their own blast back at him. Janemba starts cutting right through the blast, and just as he's about to get to them and hit them, the blast explodes with power, getting even larger and flinging Janemba back, damaging him a good amount. Everyone's confused, and they see another person standing there. There's Maris who teleports away soon after, but also someone who looks familiar yet also not familiar. Vegeta? Kakarot? The man chuckles. That's right, he doesn't even have a name for himself. He proclaims one thing. He's the fusion of Vegeta and Kakarot. And although we may know him as Gogeta, in this scenario there is no Goku. So does that make him Kojita? I mean, I could go with Vegito, but that seems kind of unfair to Vegito. So we have Kojita, a fusion resulting in the fusion dance between Kakarot and Vegeta. He's only his base form right now, but his power surpasses even that of Kakarot and Vegeta in their blue forms. And he thinks it might be time to take it a step further. They gotta finish this quick after all. He tells everyone to stand back. He'll handle this. Janemba launches towards him, and Kojita effortlessly parries his attack, flipping up into the air, kicking Janemba into the ground. He jumps up into the sky. The planet is illuminated by a brilliant blue glow. He ascends into Super Saiyan Blue, launching back down. Janemba has no time to react. He tries to attack, but Kojita's too fast and too strong. Nothing's working. Everyone else just watches on in amazement. Even on Beerus' planet, he, Whis, and Marisol watch on too. This is incredible. The fusion of 2 Super Saiyan Blues. This will definitely do the job. Kojita has one goal. He needs to kill Janemba and erase all of that evil energy. He sticks out his 2 hands to each side, and each of them, a rainbow orb appears, surrounded by a bunch of electricity. He cups his hands together. The rainbow auras swirl together, rapidly speeding up and growing larger. Angered, Janemba tries one last attack. He has his sword out, lunging towards Kojita, but the fusion launches a massive attack. A Soul Punisher Final Flash. With the properties of a Soul Punisher and the power of a Final Flash, they launch a massive multicolored beam at Janemba. He tries to hold it back, and briefly, he is able to. But then his arms, they start disintegrating, as well as the rest of himself. And this isn't just a normal attack. Of course, the key itself is damaging him, but he's also being completely erased. In another part of the universe, the Kais watch on too. The rift that was created, it starts to close. In Otherworld, King Kai and his associates watch on too. The casings around everything start to disappear. Everything's returning back to normal. Kojita gives it one last push, and Janemba is completely eradicated. And with his death, everything turns back to how it should be. In Hell, the Saiyan army watches on. Bardock's at the front, looking up at where the rift once was. He chuckles and gives a slight smile. Mayris, Beerus, and Whis watch on too. Just as Whis and Beerus predicted, the Saiyans handled this, of course with a little bit of help from Mayris. To think that Frieza started all this, even from Hell, he was one of the key factors in starting this whole thing. But it's interesting, he also caused his own downfall. By raising Kakarot, he created this. This rebellion against him, this rebellion against Cooler, against Janemba, against everyone else. Who knows what would have happened if Kakarot went to his original destination? Kojita defuses. They won. The universe, no, the multiverse is saved. Universe 7 is repaired, restored back to normal. They turn over to their group, each with a thumbs up. The Galactic Patrol and the Saiyans are victorious. Kakarot reflects on this for a moment too. It's just like what Bardock was telling him. Frieza did a pretty crappy job raising him. If things went differently, who knows? He might have been on Janemba's side. He could be in Hell. He could be completely erased. He could be at his original destination on Earth. But even though things didn't go ideally at first, everything's turned out pretty alright, and Kakarot still has higher heights to reach. With that, we conclude this series. So, what did you guys think about this part? And if anything happens afterwards, what do you think's going to happen? And what was your favorite arc in the series since most were original? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any future uploads on my channel, including more videos like this one. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.